ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, May 26th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Open now, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Brand new coach announced today. We knew from the press release, but we got to meet her in person. Evynn Richard, now the new head coach. Marshall STUNT program is off and running. We'll hear her comments and more later on. Coming up in the next few minutes, we're a few days overdue on this one. We've got Ari Aganus. She recently took the position of volleyball coach at Fairland High School. So she is back in coaching and a good friend of the program. Thought it would be nice to have her on, talk to her for a few minutes. So we're going to do that. And, of course, we're going to talk to you. So, again, that text line, let me give it to you one more time. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So started my day over at the Henderson Center for the presser to introduce Evynn Richards as the first ever coach, Marshall STUNT program. Evynn was highly regarded. At one point, A.D. Harrison said that she was highly sought after and that people said she's the one to get if you can get her. So today, the press conference held at the Henderson Center, A.D. Harrison introducing the new head coach of Marshall STUNT, Evynn Richard. And what was it about her? When you look at her resume, you look at where she's been, and this is still a fairly young sport. She was at Cal Baptist on the coaching staff. 125-0 record. That's pretty impressive as a coach on that staff. So what was it about her, the resume, everything involved that stood out and made her to be the coach you wanted?
Well, what impressed me about her, as you heard in her response, is her plan. Like, she asked me directly, do you want to win? Like, do you want to be successful? How can we build what support? She asked all the questions that I would expect a football coach to ask or a basketball coach. She had that mentality and the energy level in the conversation. She was jumping through the phone at first, and then when she came to campus, she was all about, we took her to the women's basketball banquet when she was here. Like, she jumped right in there with us, and that's when we knew we had the right person.
That's sort of a question you would ask a coach. Hey, do you want to win? So was it refreshing to hear that first?
Yeah, it was, because, when you start a new program, a lot of people ask you, how much time do you have? What are you expecting right away? It wasn't when. She was like, it was more of, hey, this is going to happen. Just how long do I have to build it? And that kind of attitude is the attitude we want with anybody who works in this department, coach, staff, or anybody else. When are we going to get this done?
So she was all guns blazing. She came in, we're going to win. What's your timeline? Because we're going to win. And that was what impressed the athletic department and the administration about her. Also, it was an exciting day just to be able to say that we are starting a brand new program at Marshall University. And this is something that Gerald has done before at Austin Peay, and now he gets to do it again at Marshall.
It's really exciting. This is my second opportunity as an athletic director to do this. We started women's lacrosse at Austin Peay, and to have an opportunity to do that here at Marshall is really exciting. It's a new birth. It's a new energy, and people are really excited about it and anxious to learn. And I think that's one of the things I had to do through this process is actually learn, because you want to say, well, it's just cheerleading. And it's like, but then when you go see the championship, it is nothing like cheerleading. And so this is going to be great, and the energy is going to be awesome for our fans.
So it's not like cheerleading. So there's going to have to be a lot of buy-in, a lot of learning about what this is. Brad Smith, when I asked him what it was like to start a new program, Brad's also very excited. He's always a positive guy. So if you ask him about the weather, he's usually excited, but he's definitely excited about getting the chance to start a new program.
This is what everyone wishes for, the opportunity to set the standard in a new sport, in this case the fastest growing women's sport in collegiate athletics, a chance for Marshall University to once again compete for championships.
So there you have it. We'll hear more from both Brad Smith and Gerald Harrison. We'll hear later from Evynn Richard. her thoughts on the job at Marshall University, what attracted her to the program, what her game plan is to hit the ground running and get this started at Marshall University. And we'll also hear from you, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Initial thoughts. Are you excited about a new program at Marshall University? Is this a sport that you're willing to follow, to learn about? Is this something that you would attend? Now, what's your early impression? Do you know enough about it to even make that decision right now? So I'm curious what it means to you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up, we're going to hear from a good friend of our program, now the volleyball coach at Fairland High School, Ari Aganus. We'll do that when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, it is Metro News Talk Line, 10:06, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I want to welcome back to the program. It's been far too long. New volleyball coach at Fairland High School, Ari Aganus, is with us. Ari, former head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd, took some time off from coaching, now back in it, and she joins us now on the program. And welcome back. It's been way too long since we've talked.
I know. I mean, what, a year? Wow, almost probably a year and a half at least, right?
Feels like a lifetime.
I understand. I understand.
Feels like a lifetime. So you're back into coaching now. You've taken this position at Fairland High School. What made you decide that this was the right opportunity to get back into it?
You know, my husband works at Fairland, and he's the athletic trainer there. And so when I had the first fall of my life that I had absolutely nothing to do other than sell houses, we would go to the games, football, soccer, volleyball, and we just truly got into the community of it and the department and everybody on board. And it's just home, in the sense that everybody's super kind, but it's still that kind of work ethic, blue collar that I've always kind of associated with. And, you know, I never said I don't want to coach. I have to be done. I just didn't want to do college athletics anymore. And as soon as Jeff, the athletic director, called me, I was like, yeah, why not? We're crazy busy right now, but let's just add something else on there. I also know what my coach in high school meant to me and the effect and impact she had on my life, that I was like, you know what, this is an opportunity to hopefully have that same kind of positive impact on other little humans.
What's the change going to be like for you from coaching Division I volleyball to stepping away for a little bit to get back into it, and now you're doing high school? I mean, I know you don't have to worry about the transfer portal as much, I'm sure, and name, image, and likeness as much, but yeah, there's still a lot of challenges that go along with this as athletics has changed, not only at the college level, but the high school level as well, with all those things I've mentioned. So maybe what's the same, what's the difference for you?
You know, I think the same is caring for humans and learning things through sport. I think how I've always done things is how I'm just going to continue to do them. And the minute that it becomes not fun is the minute that we can step away. And getting out of college athletics, I think, it taught me a lot. The world keeps spinning, in case we didn't know that. There were just so many things that it's so beautiful, but it has changed. And, I think it's great for the people that want to be in it and want to do those things, but it became a bit too transactional for me. So the transformational or just the relationships that you can have at the high school with kind of what they're going through with everything as they're growing up. So I don't foresee challenges in the sense of, I think that the challenges are going to be my time spacing. But at the same time, that's a benefit. We have practice and we have different things, but it's just not that much compared to what I'm used to. So I think for me, it's kind of like a break while being able to have the sport still. So I don't foresee challenges. I think people get up in arms about parents, and we had a great parent meeting, and I'm just so direct, as I'm sure you know, that it is just kind of this, let's let our kids play and let's have them work really hard, and we have really high expectations, and have them leave here being better human beings than when they came in.
I was going to ask you about that. You read my mind about the parents. Now, I'm not inferring any school, any parent, not at all. But as a generic term, you know what the rumors are. Yeah, you maybe have heard about rumors about how these parents are just into helicopter coaching, and they're behind you, and they're coaching, and they're telling them to do something else, and coaches probably have to turn around and say, "Shut up." I don't foresee that at all.
You know, I think that that's the beauty of what I've been through, and the fact that I am just doing this for fun. This isn't like, we love Fairland, we love the community, we love what's going on. I love the sport of volleyball. So the minute, you know, as we talked about, there's going to be different expectations, and we will be held to them. And here's the whys, and here's the things. And I think that as a parent, like, I understand. I get it. You want your kid to do the things, but at the end of the day, even with my son, it's like, if he's not good enough, he's just not good enough. Like, that sucks, but that's just kind of what we have to get on board with, because when they go to college or do different things, that's what they're going to have. So I think it's just going to be more just reminding them that it's just not about them. It's about their kids, and playing time has nothing to do with who they are as human beings. So let's just give grace. Let's give a little bit of grace and have a good time. Because parents typically, if they go home and we're complaining and having the things, you're not helping. They have so much other stuff going on that, how do we just be like, hey, you know what? You tried really hard. Let's try again tomorrow. You're gonna do great, and just keep it moving. So I'm not worried about it, just because I think we've got a really cool group, and I think that they understand the expectation, and if the expectation isn't met, then we will handle it. I will handle it.
Ari Aganus is with us, the head coach of the Fairland volleyball team. So you get to, I don't want to say have a sort of a more fun, because you still have to win, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're still.
Right, but, I mean, come on.
I mean, you're still Ari Aganus as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're out there to win. Just that's just a vibe about you. I mean, you're not the win at all costs. You do it right. You try to do everything above board and by the book and be a good human being while you're doing it. And at the end of the day, if you win or lose, it doesn't change anything. But still, we're going out.
We want to win.
Yeah, we want to win. Absolutely. One thing that I sing your praises about this. There are a lot of things I can sing your praises about, because at the end of the day, I felt like your student athletes came out of Marshall University better people. And I would put them up against, and I'm not trying to pit you against former coaches, but I would put them up against any other group of student athletes at Marshall University, because they just felt like they were in it to win it, but they also wanted to be everywhere. And I know there's a renewed push at Marshall for community involvement. I feel like you are ahead of the curve, and you would be leading the way wherever you're at as far as community involvement. Or, hey, we're going to go to the basketball game today. We're going to go to the football game today. I always knew that the volleyball team was there because your team was so visible. Yeah, they were there. They were present. They were loud. They were known. It's like, oh, that's the volleyball team. That's Ari's team right there.
Absolutely. And we'll do the same thing. I mean, even this past fall, I went with Aiden. We went to just about to anything we could make it to. And I think that's, you just got to show up. You can't expect people to come to your games if you're not willing to go to their stuff. You can't expect for people to care if you don't care about them. You can't expect for yourself, like, you can't have a nice community if you're not helping make it nice. So I think that, those are really kind words, and I really do appreciate that. And I think that that's something that is just, I've always, for whatever reason, like, you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You don't do it for Instagram. You don't do it for, all of these things. And I think getting out of college coaching and the past year and a half has not been rainbows and butterflies. And I think having gone through that and seeing what people will say and do and those kinds of things online, you're just like, you know what, let's just do this because it's the right thing to do. Let's just take a breath. Let's just have it and help these humans just be better humans. And I think too, as women, it's, the message for me was always that, because I'll ask a question, be like, do we understand? And if it's quiet, it's like, okay, so do we not understand? Because so often we are fighting to have a voice, and we're fighting to have a place in this world that is, for good, bad, or otherwise, just very male dominated, which is fine. We're going to fix it. But I think that when you get the chance, or you're asked a question, like, you answer because somebody cares that you have a voice. And I think that's it with how I try to do things at Marshall, is like, show up. It doesn't matter that other people aren't showing up. We show up because that's what we would want from other people. And you want to treat people or situations or other athletes or other students the way you would want to be treated, no matter if that means you're getting anything back or not. And I think that's just the biggest thing, is you don't do it. It's not transactional. You don't do it hoping you get something back. You just do it.
Ari Aganus is with us. She's taking the position of volleyball coach at Fairland High School. So to continue that, I know you're going to be at all the sporting events, and those are the real easy things. You don't even have to think about that. Hey, we got a baseball game today. Can we go? Yes, we're off to the ballpark. But I guess I don't know if I'm, you're going to telegraph this, but you're not going to be just sticking to just sporting events. You're probably going to be doing some other things. Maybe the girls are not aware of that just yet. You're probably going to be all over the place in the community, and maybe not.
No, they know.
Oh, they know.
They know because they know. And in a way too, that as we had the parents meeting and stuff, I don't know that community in that way, so I have to learn how to get there. I can't go ask for money for stuff, that we may need, or ask for some shirts or different donations if I don't know who owns what and how do they operate, and are they fans of Fairland, and how can we get them to be fans of volleyball? And you know what, at the end of the day too, if it was the same, I think our first open gym that we had, and I was just like, okay, now we put the chairs back, we clean up the space. Like, there's just things that I think we'll always do. You just got to give back. And I think it's got to be the times when it stinks the most. It's got to be the after a loss, where, okay, it doesn't matter. We don't stop and we don't give up. And I hope that just teaches them resilience, but then also understanding that, the world keeps spinning and you still have to do the things you set out to do that define your character.
Ari Aganus joins us, former head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd, now taking the position at Fairland High School as volleyball coach. Wearing green still, so she's staying in the green. What's been the reaction from? Did you walk in the room and they were like, "Wow, it's Ari Aganus"? Did you get the big pop? What's been the reaction from the community and just people who maybe know you?
Walked in a room and that's happened.
I mean,
no,
hey,
it was great. But I also look. I'm here. Let's coach some volleyball. That's just really all there is to it. I've had former coaches and different colleagues and stuff get really excited, and I think it's beautiful. I do. I think it's just such a great thing, but I just don't even pay attention to that stuff either, though. I think you know that. So I just keep it moving. But no, everybody has been very kind, very, I think, not sure how to take me right away, which I understand. So I'm sure they're just kind of slow stepping it too, with can we talk to her? Do we not talk to her? But they've been very sweet and helpful.
I don't understand that conversation that you just had about can we talk to Ari, because I wish everyone was like you when I talk to him, because I feel like I'm at my best talking to you, because I got to match your energy for one. So I got to bring the game.
I'm saying.
I got to bring the game.
Got to have it.
I got to have it. What have you had to learn recently, and what are you still learning as far as coaching high school in Ohio? Do you have assistants? What's your staff? What's your education process like?
Yeah, we had to do a lot of online coaching training, which was awesome. And then I've honestly just had to kind of dive back into the basics, which I've enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. And just get back to, okay, I want them to do this, but now I'm the person teaching them the hows and the whys to do that. And being able to explain those things, because when I grew up playing, it was like, just do this, right? Not necessarily understanding why. So I think that's been kind of interesting. I do have an assistant. I don't know that it's official yet. Not that it's like, but I don't know. I'm so used to so many rules that I have no clue. But she played at Cabell Midland. She's going to be a huge asset to us. Super excited, and just, I think she played for River Cities, and so she's been through she's just a tough kid. Like, she's an adult, but she's a kid to me. So, but no, it's, the learning curve is just meeting them where they're at. Where are we at? What do we need to learn? How do we get from A to B and then B to C? And then hopefully by the end of the season, we're through the alphabet.
Interaction with some of your future opponents, coaches, is what's the schedule look like? All of that stuff, right? You gotta start working on that. Okay,
Yep.
What's this coach like? Are they welcoming? Okay, what do you? Chesapeake's your rival. You gotta learn all that stuff.
I know, but I think how I've always been, though, as well. Like, even when I first got here, they're like, "Oh, that's this is this team," and I was like, let's just go play volleyball. That's all we're going to do. We're not worried about other things. We're just going to go play volleyball. And I think that's how I am, is I need to get through this first year and understand the schedule and how many games and what you can do and how you can do. And, hopefully the one hope would be that we get, because Megan Taylor coaches at Painesville, and it would be us playing Megan Taylor. I think that would be one for the books. So we're working slowly. I don't think it'll happen this year, but it would be fun.
So we can't talk about your team just yet. What you got coming. We got to wait a little bit, just a little.
We gotta, you gotta keep it, gotta hold it tight right now. Can't give everybody everything.
No, exactly, because how many how many high school volleyball coaches in this region are like on speed dial with me? I mean, and maybe I need to have more, but
I'm saying,
yeah, I
think you got the right amount. I think you got the right amount.
Just one. So I can't talk to Chesapeake or any other school, because then I would be
that would not be ethical, Paul. That wouldn't be right.
Fair. Okay. So I'll be very careful. You know what's going to happen next? I'm going to get a phone call. Hey, can you get football coach on, Paul? Can you get? So
right.
I'm going to be, because I'm sure I have some parents over there that maybe even work here. I'll have to double check. I think I do, but I kind of get a feeling that I'm going to be the Fairland High School network here soon, just because of you and me.
Look, we got to take what we can get, and if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. You have to do the right thing, because it's the right thing. We just talked about it. You just have to do it.
Totally fair. Ari Aganus is with us, so so anyone who's listening wants to get on board with Fairland volleyball. When's the next opportunity they can come out, meet you, open houses, all of that stuff? What do you got?
Oh, gosh, that's actually a great question. That is a fabulous question. I'm going to tell you what, we are still working on our summer schedule as far as play dates. So when I get those finalized, I'll get them to you. We do have our fall schedule, but I'm thinking, too, we'll probably do like a meet and greet type of thing and just try to get them involved with the community. So when I have that, I'll definitely give you a call and try to pop back on so we can get plenty of people there for them.
Okay, time to meet the Dragons. You like that mascot, though, right? I mean,
I do. And my son really likes it, so it's a dragon. Like, how, honestly, I think I was a cougar in high school. So, like, I don't know.
A cougar, a
Dragons
dragon.
are cool.
A dragon would eat a cougar.
That's what I'm saying. We wouldn't have stood a chance.
No, absolutely not. And just to stir it up a little bit, a dragon would eat a panther.
Look at you. You're the one already starting it.
Look, I have to be biased a little bit.
I know.
Yeah. I know who my friends are.
Yeah, you got to stay loyal.
Absolutely. So I'll be expecting some Fairland Dragon swag soon here. I don't know. You see, here's the great thing about my life. My school no longer exists. It consolidated into Huntington East and
So
Huntington
you can be a
High.
fan.
I can see Huntington East, the Highlanders, consolidated with Huntington High, the Pony Express, which was one of the greatest high school mascots ever.
That is a great mascot.
And now that mascot is gone. So my school is gone. My mascot is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a free agent. I'll root for Huntington
Okay.
High, but I'm still Pony Express at the heart. So I can be a dragon now.
I get that.
I'm there.
You can be a dragon. I think it's better than the Pony Express.
I might have to fight you on that.
I know.
I might have to, just a little bit, but we can make room for both.
I think that's great.
We can do it. Ari Aganus is my guest. A long time coming. I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to have a real reason to call you other than just, hey, how are you doing, Ari?
Anytime.
Absolutely. Don't worry. We'll hear from you again.
I know.
Ari, thank you. Appreciate your friendship always, and appreciate the fact that you're so willing to do this. And I'm excited for those young ladies at Fairland High School.
Thank you, Paul. Ari
Aganus, head coach of the Fairland Dragons. Volleyball is going to definitely be more exciting for Fairland. We will come back and get your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Also, earlier in the morning, I was up bright and early at the Cam Anderson Center. We'll talk about that when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Tuesday edition of Your Drive. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. I was at the Cam Anderson Center earlier this morning for the introduction of Evynn Richard as the new STUNT head coach, Marshall University. So Thundering Herd adding its 19th sport at Marshall University, bringing in a coach with a proven track record. She has been part of a 125-0 record in STUNT at Cal Baptist. Beat Kentucky in the finals 27-22. So she knows what it takes to win. And soon this will be an NCAA sanctioned championship. That means you'll be competing for another NCAA championship if Marshall is so fortunate. But what is STUNT? What's it all about? You just don't add this to your athletic department and go, all right, here it is. We got a sport that's going to boost the numbers. Hope we're good at it. No, that's not the attitude I got from Marshall Athletic Director Gerald Harrison earlier today. He talked about what he learned about STUNT as he went to several events. He went to Nashville. He went to Lexington. So he really did his due diligence in trying to figure out what this was about and how to make it better.
Yeah, we did. And so there was 2 trips. Andrew Brown went over to Lexington. The University of Kentucky has it. And he watched the operations and how to set it up and what it's supposed to look like. And then he watched them competing. And then Nashville was really about locking in and watching. Like, I spent a lot of time watching her coach, watching the fans that traveled. I mean, from Cal Baptist, there's probably 150 people in the gym dressed in their colors and doing it. So they have a following, and Kentucky had a following. And I know the Marshall fan base. So once we get to understanding, it's going to be great. And so I think right now our biggest focus are where we're going to compete, whether it's going to be in the CAM or in SCAGs. But it's going to be in one of those. And so we are really, really excited about what's going to happen now.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions still to be answered as far as what this program is going to look like. And you bring in a coach coming from a successful program, the successful program in the sport early on in its existence. And so you have to have a lot of things go right, and you have to have a lot of backing to come into a new situation where there isn't a program, not even in the state or the region, and start building that program. And Brad Smith, Marshall's president, talked about how Richard really embraced the concept of starting a new program.
She's a builder. She has a vision. She's excited to have the opportunity to go out and create something from scratch. She knows what she needs to do to put in place and build that foundation. And she knows that there's talent at Marshall University and a supporting infrastructure and Herd Nation to be right with her.
So she understands. We're starting from scratch. Let's go. Let's build this. And, of course, the knowledge was instrumental in trying to put this together and get this going and understand what you're getting into. He didn't directly say it, but my impression was that Marshall's in it to win it. And how important was that research to the timeline to figure out how soon we can start winning?
Well, if you don't understand it, you're playing with it. And we're not about wasting time or wasting energy. We're going to do it. We're going to try to be great at it. And so we wanted to spend that time. It was imperative that I personally went to Nashville. Naisha personally went to Nashville, and we weren't just there one day. We were there for 2 or 3 days at the championship because we want to know how this thing was running, how we can do it better than them. I told Evynn my goal was to host the national championship in Huntington, West Virginia, to bring it here. And we feel like we can get that done by learning and setting things up.
And what's that timeline like for Brad Smith? Because, again, Brad's the kind of guy that he wants something to happen. He wants it to happen, and he wants it to happen not down the road, but, hey, if we're in, we're in. That's, again, my impressions I get from him. So he talked a little bit about the timeline. You have a coach that's in it to win it now, but you still got to get this thing going, and here's Brad Smith's take on that.
She does. She has the opportunity in the next year to go out and begin to recruit, to put the foundational elements in place, and then ultimately we'll build on that in year 2. We're prepared to compete. She's going to be here in the next couple of weeks. She's already found a place to live, so she's ready to get the ball rolling.
So the ball will be rolling for the new head coach of STUNT, Evynn Richard. We're going to hear from her when we continue. Also, your text at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Save big money on your next outdoor project at Menards. Shop the largest in-stock selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber and thick decking, all easy to load in our drive-through lumber yard. Plus, get free estimates using our easy-to-use deck design program. Save big on AC2 pressure-treated lumber and thick decking at Menards. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, May 29th, it's Bedford on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. Mark your calendar for June 19th when 9th Street is dead with Grateful Dead tunes from John Ingram's Dead Center. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your neighborhood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line is still open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As we get back to the swing of things, welcome back to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Texter writes in and says, Paul, I still don't know what stunt is. And I think that's an important question to ask, because you get this impression that it's cheerleading, you get this impression that it's gymnastics, and so that is going to be important for the Thundering Herd to kind of show what this sport is all about. And I'm sure there'll be opportunities here in the near future to learn more about that. We'll go over that and more as we've got comments from Marshall's new coach, head coach of the stunt program, first ever, Evynn Richard. And Evynn talked about what convinced her when I asked how she could succeed, why she believed she could win and be successful at Marshall University.
You know, every program comes with its challenges, but you got to weigh the pros and the cons, and Marshall had more pros than it had cons for me, absolutely. To be at a university and in an athletics department that have vision that I believe in is rare. To be at a university and in an athletics department that want to not just add the program, just to add a program, but want success out of me and success from my athletes is also a rarity, and both of those things combined just made this the absolute right opportunity and the right move for me. You know, I come from California. California and West Virginia are very, very different, but I'm a firm believer that when things align, that you go for the opportunity and you are all in for it, and this is just definitely the vision that I believed in, so it just made the absolute most sense for me to come to this university versus anywhere else.
That's a good point. You come from California and then you are convinced to take a job in West Virginia, two different landscapes altogether. So I'm sure the pitch was tremendous, but what ultimately convinced her that Marshall was genuinely serious about everything she talked about?
I had the opportunity to come out to the campus to visit in mid-April. I was absolutely convinced then when I came, having conversations with the athletic director Harrison, with the rest of the athletics administration staff, just made me absolutely know that this was the place for me, that they were serious about it. You know, we had several sit-down conversations in which they reassured me over and over, we are not just adding this to add this. We want it to be successful. We will back you. We will support you. And that was the most important thing for me. Yes, of course, having other coaching offers as well, but experiencing that, knowing I was coming someplace that I would be taken care of, knowing I was coming someplace where I could find another home, another family, and that staff, coaches would all support each other and be there for each other was really, really important for me, and creating something from the ground up. I have this unique opportunity, you know, in other sports, you don't see many programs being built from the ground up. Head coaching opportunities pop up, but it's nothing where you can just build it from your vision from the very, very bottom. So this is an amazing opportunity for that. So I'm extremely grateful for that, but also just an amazing opportunity to be a part of something bigger and try and elevate the student athlete experience, because you only get 4 years in college, and so you want to make sure you find the right home for you and find a place where you are supported as an athlete. So I'm excited for all of those things.
Evynn Richard on why she was convinced that Marshall was serious about stunt. Texter says, Paul, I'm afraid I just cannot see myself developing any interest in stunt, let alone be excited about it. Appreciate the thought. And that's going to be a huge challenge. You know, it's what's happening today at Marshall University. We're going to talk about it. Obviously, it's part of what we do. But how excited you are about stunt is probably going to dictate how well it goes, how successful it really can be. You know, will you get on board with it if it becomes a winner? Will you get on board with it and try to help make it a winner? That is the question. And that was a question actually that Coach Richard addressed she was asked, how do you sell this sport to fans and donors? That was a big ask. Not only fans, but donors. How do you sell this sport?
You don't understand it when you hear about it, but as soon as you see it or you start to see the process, you become obsessed with it. When you watch the sport of stunt, dads tend to like it the absolute most. It's more competitive than you ever would think that it would be, but you just need to get your butt in a seat for a game before you get absolutely hooked for it. So I'm excited for the fans to see that process. Like everyone said, it's one of the fastest growing sports, but there's also a strategy to it that, is just like any other sport as well. So I think that when you hear about it, you're confused. What is this? Is this just cheerleading? Is it just gymnastics? But it's nothing like any of those things. It's something entirely different. And I think that that's something beautiful that everyone can support.
So do you accept that challenge? Hey, let's go to a stunt game, stunt match, whatever we're calling these things. Again, I got to learn this as well. Yeah. Are you going to go see one of these? If the opportunity comes up, you get a chance, okay, let's try this out. Would you do it? Or are you going to have that wait and see attitude like, okay, I'm not sold on this yet. I got to learn a little bit more. Obviously, going to one of these events is going to open your eye. Maybe you do like it, maybe you don't. But I feel that this is still going to be something that, herd fans are going to be a little tentative on. Hey, we support Marshall. Don't know if I'm going to this or not to watch this. Now, I suspect that there will be a lot of interest from maybe parts of the region where cheerleading, gymnastics, some of the things that she said, hey, it kind of looks like that, but it's not, or you think it is, but it's definitely not. I think there might be a lot of interest from maybe parts of our region, because I don't see this is probably going to be a regional sport, if that. And you're going to have a lot of opportunity for young ladies to compete in this, continue their athletic career in this. But I don't know if you're going to get traditional fans right away to jump in this. It might be a fan base that, they might never tune in and listen to us or tune into a football game. Maybe they would. I don't know. So I'm curious to see what the demographics look like, what the fan base is going to look like. Who are these people that are going to come to this and be attracted by this sport? So how do you get started? You got to have a team. You got to hit the ground running. And you've got a 0 year, and she'll talk about that in a moment. But what's the roadmap to get started day one, hitting the ground running?
Recruiting. And so already building out, the locations that I want to go to, the dates when I want to travel out of town and that sort of thing. Like I said earlier, I have vision, and I'm trying to find those athletes, the leaders, the innovators, the trailblazers who want to start something new, who see my vision and see that, we can build something amazing. You have a coach that's all in, that has knowledge of what it takes to be successful, and I'm looking for the athletes who can see that, who have an all-in mentality, who are ready to build something amazing with me here at Marshall. And some of those athletes are going to be from here in West Virginia. Like I said, there's a lot of talent here that hasn't even been tapped into for the sport of stunt, but also in some other states as well. So I'm really looking forward to being all in for recruiting and finding the athletes that are as hungry for this as I am.
And on the timeline, she gets a 0 year before it becomes an official sport, at least for a championship at the NCAA level. So what's that mean to her, and what's that timeline and process about?
One thing that I'm extremely grateful for is the fact that I have a full 0 year, so 26, 27, to get everything prepared. It gives me time to create my vision, start to see it through. What do I want traditions to look like? What do I want practices to look like? And how do I want those things to be structured? Building out my recruiting roster and that sort of thing. Our first full go season is 2027 to 2028, meaning we'd be training in fall of 2027. We would start to play February of 2028 and play throughout that season from February to April to May. So I'm just really grateful to have this opportunity to have plenty of time to get all of the ducks in a row and start to create my vision before the athletes even get here to get started. I think that's something really unique and something I'm just really excited to get started with.
And we'll leave it there with Coach Richard. Before we go, Sydney Burko becomes the latest Marshall softball player to be a All-American. She was named an All-American by D1 Softball, second team member. She is the lone position player on the list from what is considered to be a non-autonomy conference. So congratulations to her. We will be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We'll have final results from the West Virginia Amateur, and we might have a special guest in store for you tomorrow. You got to check in tomorrow to find out.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.